Father Prefect, Father Minister, Vice Principal Mr. Andre Lefevre, Commander Gurbir Singh, Commander Anup Thomas, Venerable Sangye Rapden, teachers, and my dear students. A warm good morning to one and all. On this auspicious occasion, we gather to commemorate the centennial celebrations of the late Admiral R.L. Perera, PVSM, AVSM, a distinguished figure in the annals of the Indian Navy. His contributions as the 9th Chief of Naval Staff and his pivotal role in shaping the modern Indian Navy resonate profoundly in our hearts. Admiral Perera's journey began within the corridors of North Point from 1932 to 1937, where the seeds of leadership were sown and nurtured. Today, as we honor his legacy, we are privileged to welcome Commander Gurbir Singh and Commander Anup Thomas from the Indian Navy. I request Father Stanley, Rector, St. Joseph School, North Point, to welcome our guests with a kada. Thank you, Father. I now request our dignitaries, except Commander Gurbir Singh, to be kindly seated with the audience as we continue with the rest of the program, embodying the spirit of Admiral Perera's dedication and service to our nation. And master's degree in nautical sciences and tactical operations and defense and strategic studies. He specialized in long navigation and direction course and is the alumnus of the prestigious Defense Service College, Wellington. Sir has held various training and staff appointments, which include instructor at the Naval Academy, Goa, ND School, senior education officer on board INS Krishna and ND School. He was the vice principal of the Sainik School, Imphal, and training officer at the Naval Training Team, NDA, Kharagwasla. Sir has been commended by the Flag Officer, Commanding-in-Chief, and Chief of the Naval Staff in 2016 and 2022. Commander Gurbir Singh is currently posted at the Director of Naval Education, Naval Headquarters, Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Respected Father Stanley Verghese, Rector and Principal, Mr. Andre Lefevre, Vice Principal, Father Prefect, respected teachers, members of the staff, faculty of St. Joseph School, and all the bright, brilliant, and energetic students. A very good morning to all of you. I'm Commander Gurbir Singh from Indian Navy, a fine service that I had decided to join way back in 2006 after completing my BTech in Electrical and Electronics Engineering. It's indeed a real pleasure and a privilege for me to be present here today amongst you. I am thankful to the principal, faculty, and students of this school for facilitating this program in connection with centennial celebrations of Admiral R.L. Perera, who was an alumnus of this fine institution. Before I introduce you to India's maritime heritage, I'll request that you would watch this video that will introduce you to the Indian Navy. So may we have the first video, please?
One of the founding pillars of the Indian Navy. He played a very vital contribution to the 1971 war as the gunnery officer. The Karwar Naval Base, he was involved in setting it up. The APSO sonar development program, as you saw Commodore Pereira in the video, was also courtesy his efforts to take some very risky decisions so that the project comes through. Many specialized units in the Navy, such as the INTEG, the WOW, the Weapon Analysis Unit, were all set up by Admiral Ronald Perera. He instituted a slew of welfare measures in the Indian Navy. In fact, the entitled rations which the Indian Navy and the Army and the Air Force get is predominantly because of the efforts of your alumnus, Admiral Perera. And largely the people in the military remember his tenure also from his tenure as the Deputy Commandant at the National Defence Academy. The legacy of the Admiral in the armed forces, apart from his exemplary leadership, have been his unshakable adherence to ethics in public life, his moral compass to do the right thing, irrespective of the consequences, and his deep commitment to the welfare of his command. As a result, Admiral Perera's life and character provides a beacon to every walk of life and every level of leadership. In good stead in our lives, where we are taught to live by a certain code of conduct and precious values which are instilled in pupils by their teachers. There is no other place where a young child learns more, and it is therefore a matter of great consideration for parents to choose an appropriate school for their children. It was for this purpose your parents decided, just like Admiral Ronald Perera's parents, to enroll you at this illustrious institution. Let us look at a few aspects that the Admiral's life at your school. Standard 1. The rector of the school at the time was Father J.D. Gildare, who was an excellent administrator and a role model to the boys. One of the influential class teachers of Admiral Perera was a Father Dennis Lennon, who was quite an inspirational figure in those days. A boy named Kenneth Reader was one of Ronnie's closest friends, primarily because of their common love for sports that brought them together at the school. Let me show you a few photographs of these personalities at the school when Admiral Perera was studying in the 1930s. It's all been sourced by your fantastic annuals which have been made so laboriously by the masters of previous year. So this photograph you see is basically Admiral Ronald Perera in May of 1932 on his communion at the school, at your chapel. The one in yellow is the 9-year-old Ronnie. In front of him is Father Gildare. To the left of, to the left of Father Gildare is Admiral Ronald Perera's mother. Like I mentioned, one of the influential teachers of Admiral Perera was Father Dennis Lennon, as shown in the bottom right. His common quote, which he used to keep dinning into the ears of the students, was "From well to better, daily self-surpassed," was a motto which devout and God-fearing Father Dennis continually dinned into the ears of his pupils. This was a quality which also later when Admiral Perera joined, he was a very, very devout and a strong Catholic, and especially one with a very loud and powerful voice, which also was one of the attributes of Father Dennis. This also is a photograph which has been taken by the school's annuals. This is the very first school race, two-legged race, which Admiral Perera had participated in. It's very difficult to tell apart as to who Ronald Perera was, but the photograph remains. More photographs of him and a lot of sports. So this is all between 1932 and 37. From running, he was an excellent runner. His close friend, as you can see encircled in the bottom left, is Kenneth Reader, who is also a fantastic runner. So both were very good friends. He played a lot of tennis, a lot of badminton, so sports was his calling, especially at the school. Ronnie was a cadet in the North Point's No. 2 platoon in those days. This platoon used to actively participate in various outdoor activities such as camping, trekking, mountaineering, etc. besides also providing the cadets small arms and survival training. This was perhaps Ronnie's very first initiation of him in the military. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll come to a quick conclusion with this photograph. This photograph is of a tableau which was recently paraded in the Republic Day on 26th of January this year. If you can see clearly, there are three military figures in the three photographs. On the left is very good. On the right is he's from the Air Force. He's Marshal of the Air Force, Arjan Singh, and who's right at the center? Admiral Ronnie Pereira, your alumnus. Now, mind you, both the Field Marshal and Marshal of the Air Force shot to prominence because of the 1965 and the 1971 wars. But Admiral Perera was not the chief then, during those important wars. But despite that, we in the armed forces fondly remember the Admiral even today because of his excellent and moral leadership and high deeds that made him an legend and which has entered into naval folklore. So let me just narrate maybe two incidents for the benefit of the audience about to show largely his legendary status. One well-known anecdote was when Admiral Perera was the chief of the naval staff in the 1980s, when he was going to meet the Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. During the journey in this flag car, Admiral Perera saw basically a young youth carrying his old father on his back and escorting him to the hospital. So Admiral Perera stopped this flag car and he told and asked as to what has happened to the old man. So he said that the old man is quite sick and he's taking him to the hospital. So the Admiral instantly decided that they will take him to the hospital. So the flag lieutenant, who's a junior officer of a lieutenant rank in the Navy, he was aghast that he's like, sir, the Prime Minister is waiting. He said, nothing doing, he will take this man to the hospital. So they took him to the nearby Ames hospital, and when he reached there, he told the doctors to treat him, and he told them that this old man is my relative. Look after him, I'll be back. So this was one mark of very much high kindness, that irrespective of him going for a very important meeting, he realized that there was a human life at peril, and he decided there and then itself to take him to the hospital. Another interesting episode is of Commodore Paul Raj, who you just saw. Did you know that Commodore Paul Raj was the inventor of the Wi-Fi, the MIMO technology which is used in Wi-Fi, which makes our internet much faster. So he was a brilliant officer. But when he was a young officer, he was hearing the APSO project and decided one day to meet the retired Admiral Perera in Bangalore in his home. So when Admiral Perera asked as to how did you come? So Commodore Paul Raj, that time young Lieutenant Commander Paul Raj, he said, sir, I came on the scooter. So Admiral Perera was shocked. He said, son, you are too important for the nation to be coming in a scooter. And he hailed a cab, took Lieutenant Commander Paul Raj to his house. His father came out to meet him, and he scolded his father also. How could you let this officer go in the scooter? And he went back home. So now the scooter was at Admiral Perera's house. So next day, Admiral Perera drove the scooter, came and dropped the scooter in this young officer's house. So this shows largely from a military perspective that he was very, very caring. His welfare of his command was very, very strong at heart. Unveiled by the Chief of the Naval Staff in 2017 in presence of the Honorable President in 2017. And on the right is a book which has been written by a former NDA cadet of the Admiral. Additionally, there is also a wonderful speech delivered by the Admiral on YouTube. I would strongly recommend that each of you please do see it. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of my talk. I would like to once again thank you all for your patient listening. I would also like to thank Father Rector and his team of excellent faculty for all support and assistance for conduct of this excellent outreach activity in honor of a great alumnus from this hallowed institution. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, very much indeed. I leave you all with the Navy's motto, Shano Varuna, which translates, may the God of the oceans be auspicious unto us. Thank you very much.
Second, coming first, Jigdel Norbu Sherpa, Class 10B. Let's give one more big round of applause to our winners and participants. Thank you. I would like to request Commander Gurbir Singh to please stay on the stage. Has graciously decided to award a scholarship to the winner of the Belgian gold medal every year, a total of 2,50,000 rupees. This Admiral R.L. Perera Scholarship is a token of encouragement and support aimed at nurturing the talents and aspirations of the students of his alma mater. On behalf of the school community, I would like to request Father Rector to present mementos to our distinguished guests, Commander Gurbir Singh and Commander Anup Thomas. Excellence and service exemplified by Admiral R.L. Perera. Please stand for the national anthem.
Another tree is this. All maybe three, all three of us.
Results of that of more than in memory of.